Brian.
And I'm Logan. And this is Tops.
Sup?
And this is Bottoms.
Sup? Oh my god. Wow.
And this is Triple. Sup? Oh my god, Orcust. Wow. And we're Crush Cards. Hi, team. Happy Monday, my musical masterpieces. How are you all feeling today? Are you feeling in tune? For those of you who are new or just haven't watched in a while, welcome to the month of Spookio, where all October we're showcasing spooky, scary deck profiles and other Halloween-spirited content.
Boo! Scared you. Now your Monday's gonna be great because you got all your scaries out. Yeah, you thought I was gonna do it. I wasn't. Not today.
So far for the month, we've done Layer of Darkness, we've done Dark World,
And now we're bringing you one of our favorite decks of all time, and it is Orcust. So this is the deck that a lot of people kind of wrote off and thought was dead after the ban list hit Harp Horror, but now with the inclusion of Girsu and with Rusty coming off the ban list, this deck is extremely powerful and just super fun to pilot. I will say that it's a really good mid-range deck. Now that the current format is like super hand trap heavy, it's not the best time to play this deck, but come December, if some of the problems get addressed in the format, this is definitely one of the decks to watch out for. So we just figured we would bring it to you and showcase what it is capable of.
and for a long time, we really hated Orcust. And for many people, if not all of us, we've all kind of hated Orcust at some point or another for something, especially when it was at full power. But you know what? I've kind of grown a soft spot for it. Ever since I did the World Legacy lore, wink, wink, wonk, wonk, go up in the corner there and click it if you want to watch a good time. I've really grown to appreciate the archetype and just the story behind that. Check out the lore if you want to, but also stay for the profile and subscribe because we have fun here.
Yeah, so on that note, if you guys are not already a subscriber, feel free to go down, hit the subscribe button, throw this video a like.
And comment your favorite song. Screw it. This is a music-based deck. We don't want to ask questions about the deck anymore. Tell us about yourselves. What do you like to listen to? Drop your favorite song in the comment. I want to know. We also have an Instagram. It's at CrushCardsYGO. We're on there all the time, answering messages, posting posts, posting stories. Please come say hi. I am literally on there all day. We also have a super wholesome Discord community with free Discord tournaments every Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we just have a good time there in Photoshop Tops and the alpacas onto all sorts of things. And then last but not least, if you want to further support the channel and help us do this full time eventually for you guys, we have a Patreon. There's bloopers at the end of every month. The side deck will be up there, especially for this deck. And there's just lots of really amazing rewards, and we love hanging out with y'all there. But if not, don't worry, that's okay. I'm just happy you're here to sing some songs with us. And by sing songs, I mean look at Galatea ruin everyone's day. But with that being said, let's get our Monster Mash on, jam to some tunes, and get into this beautiful Orcust deck profile.
Did someone say tunes?
Wrong deck profile, Tops.
Oops. So starting off, obviously we are playing triple copies of Girsu, the Orcust Mech Knight. This is one of the new inclusions out of the deck out of Eternity Code. And if this looks a little darker, yes, it is Europrint. We did pull these out of our Europrint Echo opening. If you are interested in that, we opened like 2 cases worth on the channel. But Girsu is one of the best starter cards in the deck because if this card is normal or special summon, you can send one Orcust or World Legacy card from your deck to the graveyard. Then if there are 2 or more monsters in this card zone, you make it a tuner, it doesn't matter, you literally never use that. But it also has the additional effect where if you control no other monsters, you can special summon 1 World Legacy token to both players' sides of the field in defense position. So this is cool because it is basically a 1 card starter, and then this is basically like a 1.5 card full combo also. So spoiler alert, we are playing a little bit more than 40 because this deck does play some inherent bricks. So not only are we trying to spread them out, but we are also just trying to make sure that we have as many combo pieces as possible to play through interruption because this format does not really let you go uninterrupted. And then to round out the Orcust lineup, we are playing your standard copies of double Symbol Skeleton, double Nightmare, and double World Wand. So what these cards do, this is basically your Mizuki. That's kind of how I think of it. You can just banish it from your graveyard and then special summon any Orcust monster from your graveyard. Nightmare allows you to Foolish Burial any machine monster from your deck to your graveyard by banishing it. And then the World Legacy World Wand allows you to banish it and then special summon any of your banished machine monsters. So this is kind of like a really cool loop. The only reason we play 2, 2, and 2 is because you want to have a copy in your deck at almost all times. So if you open one, you can still combo and go for free. A lot of people are maxing out on Nightmare, which is not the worst thing in the world, but once again, I feel like you only really need 2. The only stipulation with these cards is once you activate them, you are locked into special summoning dark monsters for the rest of the turn, which is fine because the entire deck is dark.
This is just a side thing already. I know I'm already interjecting, but like for the longest time, I thought Symbol Skeleton had like, hang on, I gotta zoom in. I thought Symbol Skeleton had like a backwards cap on because like the little symbol's like behind his head, but it's just got a symbol behind his head. But like, doesn't he look like he's like jamming with like a backwards cap on? I don't know. I'm sorry.
Is he listening to some tunes? And then we are playing the one honorary Orcust card. Yep, also Europrint, looks really, really good. It's Gizmek Orochi, the Serpentine Sky Slasher. This card says that you can go kidnap Sasuke, but actually it doesn't. It says quick effect.
That was genuinely the funniest thing he's ever said. That was not intended.
This card really says you can banish 8 cards. What this card really says is if this card is in your hand or graveyard, quick effect, you can banish 8 cards from the top of your deck face down and then special summon this card. And then you can banish 3 cards from your extra deck face down, target 1 face up monster on the field, and then destroy it. The only thing is you can only use 1 of these effects per turn. So really, really cool. It's a really great extender. Sometimes it comes up, sometimes it doesn't, but it's just a great card. Like, we love having this card. It's free disruption. It's a free big body, and it's just like really hard for your opponent to out at time. And then moving on, we are playing our secondary best engine, if not maybe the best starter engine. It is our scrap engine. So for any of you guys who may not be aware of this engine, we're playing triple copies of Scrap Recycler, the 1 copy of Scrap Golem, and then the 1 Crystron Rosenix. Rosenix has officially replaced Jet Synchron because Scrap Recycler says that when this card is normal or special summon, you can send 1 machine monster from your deck to the graveyard. And then Scrap Golem is once per turn, you can target 1 level 4 or lower scrap monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Now, if you guys read both of these cards right here, nowhere on this card does it say you can only activate the effect of yada 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 once per turn. So these are what we love to call soft once per turns, which is why we are playing this engine, because you can get this guy on field probably 3 to 4 times and just load up your graveyard and go full combo. And then Crystron Rosenix has a bunch of text on it, but the only effect that we care about is if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish it and then summon a Crystron token to your side of the field. It is a machine monster, so it's really, really good. A lot of synergy with the deck. Both of these monsters are unfortunately like inherent bricks in the deck, but you do have to play them.
Also, look at Scrap Recycler. I never knew he had a face until today. Look at his little face. He's just like, I just think he's great. I love him. We stan.
And that's it for the scraps. So as we said, we are playing higher counts than 40, so we did want to play 2 additional starters, which is the 1 Armageddon Knight and the 1 Dark Grepher. Dark Grepher can honestly be an extender because you can discard a level 5 or higher dark monster to special summon it, and then they both have the same effect where you just get to send a dark monster from your deck to the graveyard. Dark Grepher has an activation though where you have to discard a dark monster to do that, which is fine because the next engine that we're going to get into totally complements that. But I know it seems like we are playing a lot of normal summons, but this deck is 50 cards right now just because of the extension that we want to provide. We want to be able to play through hand traps. Armageddon Knight and Dark Grepher are not only starters but extenders, and with 50 cards we always want to ensure that we have a starter in our opening hand. Speaking of that secondary engine,
oh my god, we're in danger. It's Tsuchinoko, Jackalope, Double Mothman, Nessie, and Bigfoot here to save the day. Bop.
yeah, we decided to play 6 dangers. I feel like this was kind of the sweet spot for the engine. You can play the 1 Chupacabra. You can also drop Bigfoot and play triple Mothman if you want. You do want to load up your graveyard with a lot of really good cards, but once again, playing 50, you're not always guaranteed to see those cards, so I would rather have the utility with the Bigfoot to go second. Sometimes you're not always guaranteed to win the dice roll, so popping cards for free is really, really powerful.
But yeah, they're all dark monsters. They special summon themselves. You draw cards. They're basically everything you want in Orcust deck. So dun dun dun, we're in danger. Boo! Scary. Oh, Halloween. Wow, so in theme. Speaking of special summoning,
yeah,
oh, it's an ultimate rare.
Yeah, we're playing the 1 copy of Plague Spreader. It is a dark monster that is able to special summon itself from the graveyard. It's a starter. It's an extender. It's really just like anything and everything you could ever want. Spoiler alert: we are not playing Needle Fiber in this deck. So
oh my god!
It's crazy. This is literally just an extender, and once again, as we said, you play a bunch of inherent bricks in the deck, so this can help you put those bricks back in your deck to get an additional body on board. It's really the only reason we play this card. You don't have to. You also don't have to play this deck at 40, but we figured the more extension we could have allows us to play through hand traps and just allows us to go a little bit further in our combos. And then once again, for extenders, we are playing triple copies of Caligo or Caligo, Clawcrow, whatever you want to call this card. It is a dark monster that special summons itself if you have a dark monster on field. That's literally all this card is. It is an extender. You always want to have 2 bodies on board to get your combo play started, and we just always want to ensure that we have extenders to not only start those plays but to continue playing through any interruption that our opponent would give us. So really, really good dark extender. You could play any other dark extender that you want, but like this card just comes up a lot and it's really, really good and it's super free.
Free 99, my favorite price.
And then in deck building, I did realize that like not only is this deck really, really normal summoner reliant, but it is very, very extra deck reliant. So we're playing double copies of Raiden the Multi-Dimension Kaiju because the Buster Lock literally makes this deck unplayable. So we want to at least have a main deck out. We play a ton of draw spells to try to tune it through our deck and see cards that we need, and hopefully if we need it, we can see this card. We also play Allure, so this is a dark monster, so we can just banish it for free to draw 2 cards if we don't need it. It's just really good utility. I mean, yeah, it's a Kaiju. Like, you can out Dragoon, you can out the Buster Lock, you can out any problematic monster. It's a main deck out, and it's like Allure fodder. It's really, really good in this deck.
It's literally a Kaiju.
And then to round out our monsters, we are wrapping up with the 2 2 Phantom Knight monsters, and obviously Dark Magician and Red Eyes. These are some
big old bricks.
Some old bricks in the deck, but once again, playing 50, we are trying our hardest to not see them, and we do have the Plague Spreader to try to put cards back into our deck to get some additional extenders out and mulligan our hand. So really, really good. And this is just a really, really good follow-up play also. If your opponent stops you or they hand trap you or they got a bunch of interruption and you can still get 2 bodies on board, you can't get to your Orca stuff or you can't get to your Phantom Knight stuff, you can always just go to Dragoon and it's just absolutely free. So this engine, honestly, you don't have to play it, but I have found in testing that it does work. We were testing not playing this and I missed it a lot, so we put it back in the deck.
Keep this house with a strong foundation, you know? You can't have a good song without a good bass. Speaking of draw and tuning things out and music and all that jazz, haha, we play Allure because, you know, you're playing like 90% darks in this deck. It says draw 2. It's a good time. Banish a dark. Wowee, that doesn't affect you at all in this deck.
Yeah, this is fine. And you can, like, the really good part about this deck is you can literally recycle some of your banished dark monsters. So, like, Allure of Darkness is kind of like a +3 instead of a +2. So, really good. And then to move off into some other spells, we are obviously playing our Orcust package, which is the double copies of Orcustrated Return, the 1 Orcustrated Babel, the 1 World Legacy Succession, Monster Reborn, and Foolish. These cards are all like the World Legacy Orcust package kind of thing. They're all really interchangeable, but they're all combo pieces. They're all extenders. This just allows you to send any Orcust or World Legacy monster from your hand or face up field to the graveyard to draw 2 cards, which is good because it like fuels your graveyard and allows you to see more things in your hand. Babel is probably the most broken card in this deck because it allows you to play on your turn and your opponent's turn. We have the Searchable Monster Reborn, we have the actual Monster Reborn, and then we have the best Orcust card in the deck, which is Foolish Burial. Literally, no need to explain these cards. They're just perfect.
Also, Orcustrated Return is one of my favorite arts in the entire game. Feel free to watch the lore again because it's really good.
Pretty perfect.
And on the off chance that you lose the die roll and it really sucks, we're playing Dark Ruler No More in the main because it's obviously really good. We were debating playing IMPERIUM, but you know, you don't want to put traps in your graveyard because then Shade Brigadion's dead and it really sucks and it feels bad. So Dark Ruler No More was the choice we made and we're honestly fine with it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cards that can really fill this spot. You can play Droplets, you can play Tactics, you can play Dark Ruler, you can play IMPERIUM, yada yada yada, whatever. I see a lot of Orcust players playing Droplets, and I personally think that that is the incorrect choice because not only do most decks set up Herald so you can't really put the monsters that you would want in your hand to the graveyard, you're not always guaranteed to see those cards, and they don't discard, so it doesn't trigger your danger effects, and you really only have like 6 cards out of a 50 card deck that you want to see in your graveyard. So like to have those cards plus the combination of those cards and Droplets, I just think that's really, really wrong. It is personal opinion, but I think that Dark Ruler, even if you can't kill your opponent in 1 turn, this deck being really normal summon reliant just allows you to play ensuring there's no interruption, and with all the utility in our extra deck, we can rip our opponent's board apart with absolute ease. Playing the 1 Red Eyes Fusion, like, I mean, you have to play this.
You're not normal summoning Dark Magician, if that's what you were wondering.
And then we are playing the small PK engine, which is the 1 Phantom Knights rank up magic launch, the 1 Shade Brigadier as the extender, and then double copies of Fogblade. This is why we also chose not to play Impermanence because like it's kind of like a weaker version of Impermanence, but it is just a searchable negate. And then we are playing the rank up magic launch. We can turbo VFD in this deck, which we will showcase in the combo section, so feel free to stick around for that. So VFD is like a walking skill drain, so like it just kind of felt irrelevant to have Impermanence while we could just shut off our opponent's entire board instead of 1 card. So that's it. That's 50 cards. Let's get into the extra deck.
Moving on to the extra deck, we've got Link Kuriboh and Link Cross. They're literally just combo pieces for Girsu. That's literally it.
They're really, really good. You're not actually doing any synchro shenanigans with this, but there is a really, really cool combo with this. So stick around for the combo section. We will showcase it, or if we open scrap instead in the combo section, feel free to check out the Patreon link. We will be more than willing to do a ton of test hands with this deck on Patreon also.
Golly, I wonder what this card's for.
Yeah, this card says pay 2,000 Special Dragoon.
Wow.
And then we are playing one of the most convoluted cards in the extra deck. Let's read this card. It's really, really interesting. It says you can target 1 scrap monster in your graveyard, special summon it, then destroy 1 card you control. So like you have to special summon a card and then destroy a card, so like you're not really plussing off of it. But then it has the additional effect where if another face-up scrap monster is destroyed by a card effect while you control this monster, you can special summon 1 scrap monster from your deck, then destroy 1 card on the field. So like you kind of go plus, but like you're destroying a lot of your stuff. It's a really cool piece of the combo. The scrap engine is a 1 card combo, so this card is absolutely necessary in this deck.
Hey best girl, what's up IP? Obviously it's IP, she's really essential in this deck. I mean, Orcust is notorious for playing IP in the first place.
Oh my god, she's on an Avermax mat.
She's on an Avermat. Oh, bad Dad jokes are scary, aren't they?
We're playing the 1 copy of Lib because it is part of the combo, but Lib is really good. It's 2 monsters, that's it, super duper generic. Now it is really, really important to note that Lib is a light monster, so you cannot activate your Orcust effects and then go into Lib. You have to summon Lib first, but Lib also has the effect where you cannot even link summon her unless you have a World Legacy card in your graveyard. And then during your main phase, you can set 1 World Legacy spell trap directly from your deck, but it cannot be activated this turn unless you have a World Legacy card in your graveyard. So we will just demonstrate that combo. It's super easy, but this card is just part of your extension. This card is really freaking good.
Oh, wow.
Those look beautiful.
Oh, wow. Just take a gander.
Hoo-wee!
Oh, man, it feels really good.
Feels really good.
Never in my life did I think I would be saying it feels really good to be holding 2 ulti Galatea, but here we are. It's 2020, whatever, you know? Galatea is obviously super essential to the deck. She's literally, like, the key to this whole deck.
Whoa. No pun intended.
Whoa!
Galatea has the effect where you can target one of your banished machine monsters, shuffle it into the deck, and then set 1 Orcust spell trap directly from your deck to your side of the field. So this gets you access to Babel, or if you already have Babel, this gets you access to your orchestrated return, so you can just draw 2 cards. It's really, really good, really, really free.
She literally is the coolest searcher in the whole world.
Yeah, I mean, and look at this. Like, this is really cool. It's like Galatea, and then, well, I mean, it's Lib, and then Corrupted Lib, which is Galatea. Like,
I mean,
once again, check out the lore, y'all. It's really, really good.
I mean, it's Lee and Ib, but sure. I mean, yeah, watch the lore. Brian doesn't know what he's talking about.
So it makes Lib. Whoa.
Yeah, just watch the lore, guys. I don't know what he's saying.
We're playing the 1 copy of Barricade Board Blocker. It is a generic Link 2 that is a dark monster, and it allows you to discard a card on activation, so you can trigger some of your dangers or just get other things from your hand into your graveyard. This is probably the best combo piece to get to your next card.
Because he's back, baby! We're Rusty up in here, but now with our singing.
Unsummon Rusty allows you to set a Phantom Knight spell trap directly from your deck by sending a Phantom Knight's monster directly from your deck to your graveyard. And then that just literally snowballs your entire combo. And then what's really cool about this is no one actually realizes that this card has a secondary effect because no other deck that plays this card can really trigger it. But if a Dark Xyz monster is special summoned to an arrow that this card provides, you get to target a card on the field and destroy it. So you get a pop, and then of course we're playing Dingirsu, so you're gonna get a double pop when you summon to this arrow. This card is broken. The only restriction is you cannot use him for Link material.
I'm having nightmares at night, but it's only unicorn, so it's okay because it's the only nightmare we're playing. Shuffle cards back into the deck, but only after you discard a card. Thanks.
And then we are playing double copies of
Ultimate
wow.
Rare.
Look at how beautiful these are.
There's nothing scary about that.
Super perfect.
Oh, it's only spooky how beautiful it is.
Yeah, Dingirsu is probably the best card in the entire extra deck next to Dragoon because it has 2 effects where when this card is summoned, you can either send a card from the field to the graveyard, non-targeting, non-destruction, or you can equip one of your banished machine monsters to this as material. And then if any card would be destroyed on your field, you can detach a material to protect it, and that is not a hard once per turn. The only restriction is you can only activate 1 of those effects on summon, and you can only summon Dingirsu once per turn. But Dingirsu is really, really free in this deck because you can just make it by overlaying on top of Galatea for free. So you literally just make your 2 monsters, 2 extra deck monsters for free. It's a 1-for-1 exchange every single time.
And then rounding out the extra deck, we have a very friendly dragon, and then we have Dragoon.
Yeah, these 2 cards should probably realistically get addressed sometime in the near future. Maybe not Dragoon, but VFD. This card is just broken. It literally says your opponent can't play their turn. It's just like, this card is very, very unfair, and once again, because the Rank Up Magic launch is a legal card, again, we literally could cheat this out of our extra deck for absolutely free, and it's searchable. So like, this card is just disgusting. And then Dragoon, obviously everyone knows this card is a walking negate that can't be destroyed by card effects, can't be targeted, and then if you summon it the only way which we do summon it in this deck, you can pop 2 cards on the field, burn your opponent, and then like, this card is just absolutely freaking ridiculous. And that is the extra deck, y'all. Let's get right into a test hand.
Also, here are some tokens. The World Legacy token isn't out yet, but it's coming, and it's very, very cute, and it's got the little leaf fairy on it, but we don't have it yet. So here are some tokens with some lovely Shatterfoil sleeves that you can get from Imperium Duelist using the code CrushCard10 for 10% off. Wow, isn't that so fun?
So we'll just shuffle these cards real quick and just do a quick test hand just to demonstrate what this deck is capable of. Again, this is kind of more like a mid-range deck. I don't know if you could really place this in like the meta category, but like, I don't know, come December when some stuff gets addressed and some stuff gets hit, this might be a potential threat. So just something we want y'all to be aware of. You want to cut the deck a pony?
I suppose I do. Nay, nay, nay. Halloween scary.
All right, we'll see. Wow, that's the best card in the deck.
Oh, you get more of it.
Apparently there's 2 of. Oh my God! Cool, we literally have, oh man, that's a hand and a half, friends. Okay, so, this is really good. So, in my personal opinion, I know this is technically an Orcust deck, and I know that Girsu is an Orcust card, but I really do think you have a higher ceiling with the scrap combo. So, we are going to normal summon our scrap recycler, activate the effect. So we're going to send our Crystron Rose Eggs from our deck to the graveyard, and then we can just activate this, banishing it to get ourselves a token. So now we are going to link our token in our Scrap Recycler into our copy of Scrap Wyvern, and then Scrap Wyvern will activate, targeting a Scrap monster in our graveyard, which will be the Recycler, but then we have to pop a card we control. So we're going to pop our Scrap Recycler, and then because we popped a Scrap monster, we get to summon a card from our deck.
Fridge! Man, I'm hungry.
Yeah, so we're gonna actually summon the Scrap Golem, but then because we summoned it from our deck, we have to once again destroy a card on our side of the field, which is now gonna be the Scrap Wyvern. So we are going to destroy the Scrap Wyvern, and then Golem will activate, special summoning our Scrap Recycler. Now remember, Recycler is not a hard once per turn. So Recycler will send our World Legacy World Wand, and oh my god, does that mean we have a World Legacy card in our graveyard? Wow, we are going to link summon.
Hey, girl.
Into our Lib, the World Key Blade Master, and then Lib will activate, setting our World Legacy Succession directly from our deck. And now before we go any further, I just want to give a quick shout out to Hamza, or our good old friends over at Author Gaming.
Author!
We will tag a video up in the corner of them. They are the ones who actually demonstrated this before the ban list even came out and dropped. So shout out to them if you guys are interested in any other Orcust combos or any other really, really good meta-defining combos.
They're really, really terrifyingly good at what they do, and Hamza's super cute and scary.
So make sure you go check them out, but while we do that, we are going to activate our World Legacy Succession, which will target our Scrap Golem, special summon Scrap Golem from our graveyard, and then Scrap Golem, also not a hard once per turn, so we can target another monster, a Scrap monster in our graveyard, special summon it. We are not going to special summon the Scrap Recycler, not a hard once per turn, activate the effect.
That's so bonkers.
Here we are going to send our Orcust Nightmare, and now, friends, we have the entire combo. So we are going to lock ourselves into dark by banishing our Orcust Nightmare to send. We will send our Orcust Symbol Skeleton from our deck to our graveyard, and then now we can banish the World Wand to special summon back the Nightmare in which we just banished. So now here we have an Orcust monster, and then we have an arrow in which we need to free up. So guess where that's going, y'all?
Oh my god. Schmalatea.
Yerp, we're going to summon our Galatea here.
Twins.
Isn't it cute? And
We
they
love
point
to see
to
it.
each other.
Oh, it's so cute.
Adorbs. And now we have to activate our Mizuki, aka our Symbol Skeleton, banishing it to special summon back that copy of Nightmare that we just put in our graveyard.
Total side note, the lore in me is just starting to crank gears. I don't know if like, I mean, so I know Lib is like the last thing that happens in the World Legacy lore, but I find it really interesting that like the arrows point this way, implying they're like constant codependence on each other, even though they've kind of separated and come to like a resonance. I just think that's really cool how there's like that still need to depend on each other. I don't know. Sorry.
Thanks, nerd! So now we have put our Symbol Skeleton in our Banished pile, and we have a Banished Machine Monster that we can shuffle back. We are going to activate the Galatea, shuffling back our World Wand into the deck to set and then activate our Babble. This is probably the most broken card in the entire deck. How this card is still legal and Harp is the one that got hit instead, I mean, I'll never really know, but it is what it is. So now what we are going to do is we can overlay our copy of Dingirsu, activate the effect on summon to attach the Symbol Skeleton from our Banished pile. Now we can take two monsters that aren't dark because, you know, we just want some dark extenders on the board, and we can make our Barricade Borg Blocker. Now here, if you had a danger, you could activate the danger to get an additional extender. You can go even farther. We are not going to do that because I know a lot of people were looking at the lure maybe and asking why we haven't drawn into more combo pieces. You don't want to draw the Red Eyes Fusion. So the allure is something that I'm going to do later at the end of the combo. If you feel like it's something you want to like take your chance on, go for it. But in testing, I've done it way too many times and drawn the Red Eyes Fusion. So we're going to save the allure. But we are going to link here with two dark monsters now into our Rusty Bardiche, and then Rusty will activate. Rusty will send our Ancient Cloak to search our copy of the Rank Up Magic launch. And now, of course, our Ancient Cloak will banish itself to search us a copy of our Silent Boots. Now we do have an additional Phantom Knights monster, so we can just activate and special summon our Phantom Knights of Silent Boots here. And then we have two monsters that obviously are effect monsters, so we will link into our Verte Anaconda. Now we can banish our boots to search our Fog Blade. So now, let's check our graveyard. We have a Nightmare, we have a Ding, and we have our freaking Symbol Skeleton. But what we can do now is we can activate our Verte Anaconda, we'll send everyone's favorite brick to send the other 2 favorite bricks in the entire deck. And out of 50 cards, like, look how thin this deck is now. Like, we have a ton of stuff to utilize here. So now, obviously, that'll summon
Doink.
our Dragoon from our extra deck. So I know this doesn't look like a very intimidating board. We are now going to just set the Fog Blade. If you really want to like maybe draw into anything else, you can activate the Allure now. I personally don't feel like you have to. And then this is going to be our turn. I know it doesn't look, once again, overwhelming, but here we have a Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, which is going to be a negate. We have the Rusty, which is going to provide us with an interruption because we have the Babble live. And then, as I said, we do have a symbol, a ding, and a nightmare in our graveyard. So we will pass to our opponent. Now I typically like to activate these as I'm going to activate the nightmare, banishing it to target the Anaconda just to give it an additional attack boost because it is the smallest card on the field. This will send our Gizmek directly from our deck to our graveyard, just ensuring that we have more interruption. And then whenever our opponent does anything or they just reveal what they are playing, now we can activate our symbol skeleton in our graveyard, banishing the symbol to special summon our Ding Girsu to the Rusty Arrow. Now there's 2 different ways you can order the chain, right? So Ding, because it was summoned, can actually send a card on the field, non-targeting, non-destruction, and Rusty, because a Dark Xyz monster was summoned to its arrow, can target a card on the field and also destroy it. So you have 2 additional pops here, but the reason that I actually don't utilize that is because of this card right here. We know exactly what it is. So the order that I like to go is we will activate this Chainlink 1 to target the Ding, and then Ding is Chainlink 2, will equip the symbol skeleton, and then when Rusty attempts to pop the Ding Girsu, we will just detach the symbol to save it, and now we have an Xyz monster on the board with no materials, which then allows us to activate our rank up magic launch because we have a dark monster with no Xyz materials.
No, that's whack.
We get to summon out our VFD. So we already have a VFD on field. We've put a skeleton back in our graveyard to utilize on our turn. We have the looming threat of Gizmek, and we have a Dragoon negate with still a Fog Blade negate.
Good lord!
And then once again, just depending on what they do, we can just activate Gizmek at the end step, banishing 8. Anything good? Let's find out. Let's find out. Plague. Absolutely nothing. Wow. Perfect. And then Gizmek will just summon itself. Once again, maybe we used this, maybe we didn't. We will draw for our turn. We have 5 cards in hand. We have a VFD at 3k. We have a 2100 Rusty. We still have the Anaconda that we can link away now. We have the Gizmek, and we have a Dragoon. If Dragoon used the negate, we will obviously just discard a card. I mean, like, you could discard anything at this point. I would discard the scrap if we ever did that on our opponent's turn, so apologies for not actually like demonstrating that, but like, this is the best card now as a follow-up play, so we can just normal summon the Girsu, activate the Girsu, send a nightmare. I mean, like, this is just like, we don't even need to extend any further. We have 5-6 cards on field, so we can just
scary as hell.
Yeah, we can just put VFD in attack position, and then that's literally game.
That's some Halloween right there, man.
Or, once again, if your opponent does tend to put a really problematic card on the field.
There is no anything. Like, you put VFD on field, you call anything, they can't play. I don't know. I'm not trying to be like, well, what if this? What if that? Like, this is what the deck can do. Pretty damn good.
Yeah, it's really strong. But what I was trying to say is you can literally just link these 2 away into your Unicorn, and then you can always just like activate this, banish this, whatever. I'm pretty sure we have a skeleton in the graveyard, so we can just special summon anything back, make Galatea, shuffle back, get return, draw 2 cards, and then make Ding to send any problematic card. Plus we opened the Kaiju, so we have 2 outs to anything, even if our opponent played through this entire ridiculous board.
Yeah, between VFD and Dragoon, like, I just don't. And on your turn you have a Gizmek pop, so like, whatever.
Yeah, this deck is really freaking good. It sucks that like every deck right now is main decking like 15 to 20 hand traps just because of the crazy ridiculous format we are in. So like, this deck honestly can't really play in that format. This is more like a rogue, like tier 2-ish kind of deck. I definitely think in the next format where hand traps are not going to be as prevalent, this deck is easily tier 1.
But yeah, so far I think this is the scariest deck we've done. I don't know about y'all, but I'm terrified. I'm not gonna sleep in that. I'm gonna have nightmares about very friendly dragons and Orochimaru and Dragoons and all these things. And rusty nails. That's good. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it. Sorry if this was a little long, but we like to demonstrate the combos in full force, including follow-up turns for you guys, because we want you guys to know how to play the deck. As always, leave some comments on your favorite songs and what you thought of the deck. It means a lot to us. And subscribe and turn on the notification bell. It means a lot. But we hope you stick around for Bookio for the rest of the month, because we've got a lot planned and it's going to be great. And we're almost at 20K. But we love you. You matter. I hope you have a musical Monday, my beautiful angel babes. All right, boys, come say bye.